All right, it is time now once again for the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. My name is Elias Mellis, but you can call me Eli for short. And who is this incredibly patient lady to my right?
Well, I'm your girlfriend. My name's Dawn Ledgerwood, and I'm your partner with this business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Had to be careful with the words there, but I think I got it right.
Yeah. Anything you say, baby, anything you say goes.
Right. You're learning. Good job.
I'm learning after 4+ years of being in a relationship with you and being 52 years old. All that experience is finally paying off.
Right?
Isn't that right, baby?
Well, yeah, I think that's what our past leads us to. You know, our past mistakes. I mean, I don't even want to call them mistakes all the time. It's experiences and learning experiences that bring you to what you ultimately want in life.
Current events make future trends.
Yes.
That's the way to do it. Anyway, let's roll. Welcome back to another episode of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast. This is episode number 47, and today we've got a very, very, very controversial topic here to discuss, baby, and it is dysregulated versus regulated online groups. One more time, episode number 47 of the Dawn and Eli Take on the World podcast is dysregulated versus regulated online groups. And we have a lot to say about that. We're going to put our own spin on it for the first half of the show, and then we're going to get into 3 Reddit postings. 2 of them are going to be about why people feel YouTube is so toxic and the online world is so toxic, and then one is going to be a positive one to end the show.
Sounds great.
Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it?
Always end on a high note, babe.
Yeah.
Well, not when it comes to you and singing.
Okay, well, before we get to all of that, as always, my love, how has the past week gone? It's been a very, very interesting yet very nice week.
You know what? It has. I want to say that the week started off with, for myself, just a touch of anxiety. This was going to be a really big week for the GNA. But the deciding factor wasn't going to be done until Friday. So the week leading up, it was actually quite calm. I had this feeling of peace.
Yeah. Peace and serenity and love and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah. And, so that carried me through the week, which helped carry him through the week.
So it kept you regulated is what you're saying. Bingo.
High five. Yes.
It kept you regulated when you've been struggling with dysregulation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I am not ashamed to admit that. I mean, I feel a lot of people have times in their life where they're a little dysregulated.
Uh-huh.
But I have a lot of times in my life that I have been.
Oh, yeah.
And I can admit that.
Me too, to be fair. I've been dysregulated at times. When I first started doing YouTube full-time about a little over 8 years ago, I didn't realize how toxic the online world or even the YouTube community can be if you let it be that way. And I learned how to regulate myself because if not, you get pretty much stuck in an endless world of shit.
Yeah, and I really struggle. I had a quote last week that, or maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, but it was the people that you keep in your circle can ultimately cause your own destruction. And
well, you're saying you're your own demise. You are
well,
your
when
own
you
demise.
choose these people to be in your life, you are bringing demise to your life.
You are who you associate with.
Yes. And I struggle with this because I give a lot of people the benefit of the doubt because people are people. They're going to be themselves. And I can't control any of that.
Is it true that helping others that are currently going through what you've been through helps keep you regulated.
Yes.
Okay, that's a fair way to put it, right?
Yeah, I think it has to do with a lot of people that are in similar states of recovery as well.
Alcohol,
drugs, gambling, any kind of addiction.
Any kind of addiction or abuse.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Abusive relationships or trauma, unresolved trauma, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And they come on YouTube and they trauma dump instead of getting the help to correct the underlying issue, right?
They use YouTube as their therapist.
Right.
And see, the problem with that is that when you
as a coping mechanism too, right?
Yeah, and when you use YouTube as a therapist, all of your people are going to be telling you what you want to hear. That's not therapy.
Well, they're all self-regulating, or they're trying to self-regulate, or they're trying to regulate within the group style by validating each other that their behavior is normal when it absolutely isn't.
Yes,
or it's not regulated is a better way to put it.
And like I say, I fall victim to that too. My therapist constantly tells me that to not use the word normal, because normal is what is normal. Really? Can you really tell me what is normal?
Yeah.
And so she wants me to refrain from that and maybe look at it as everybody has their own way of living.
Their own quirks.
Yeah, and the way that they want to project who they are as people.
Or even project their insecurities, like I say, right?
That would be part of their personality.
Mm-hmm.
But, I've always lived where, and maybe it's because people have judged me, that I always want to give somebody a second chance, especially if they make a mistake.
Right.
Fool me once, shame on you. But fool me twice, shame on me.
That's right.
So you get one chance. You do it again, we're done.
You only get one shot, one opportunity, right?
Yeah.
If you had one shot, one opportunity, right?
Right? Exactly. And so, because I've wanted that in my life. I've wanted one person to give me another chance to make up for my mistakes. And I've done that. That's the beauty of recovery, is I have been able to mend the broken bridges and put back those blocks that we have with each other, not against each other, and that is so refreshing to just know one change I made in my life, one selfish movement has really helped regulate who I am now that I'm not drunk all the time. I have to tell everybody out there, if you're having a drinking problem, don't be ashamed of it. Don't hide from it. If you feel you have a problem, ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help. And you're going to live a better life, and you're going to be much happier, much more fulfilled. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. Of course, I'm emotional because it relates to me. But as far as it relating to our subject today, it has regulated me. I do have some dysregulated feelings that I'm still working on. So of how to manage it in the most appropriate way. So it's a learning process every day.
Yeah.
And I just take what she says.
Take one step at a time.
Well, yeah. And I don't really take it as advice.
Or take it with a grain of salt is what you're saying.
Yeah. But it's not even just advice. It actually is with care and love. It's not just anybody going, I see you drinking too much at the bar. I think you should stop. Because then it's like, well, who the hell are you to tell me to stop sitting next to me at the bar? And so it comes from love and somebody who actually cares for my recovery and for my health. So, but beyond that, the week wound out.
Well, before we get to that.
No, I was going to finish my week.
Hold on, the perfect song. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's ramen on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking. How? Everybody's joking now. The clock's run out. Time's up. Over. Blow. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choked. Right?
Yes. One day, I would like you to bring up the lyrics of my favorite song, that relates to a lot of dysregulated people, including myself.
Eminem was massively dysregulated.
Oh, honey.
Growing up with all that stuff he dealt with. Marshall
He
Mathers.
was the most dysregulated person in our generation. I mean, okay, I'll give him a top 5. He's in the top 5. There's been a lot of dysregulated people.
Yeah, but he made something out of himself and he became regulated.
Well, he made something out of his dysregulation. He saw that. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of it was when he was going through all that stuff with his daughter. That's when he woke up.
Or what? His daughter, Haley, I believe, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I think that kind of...
It opened his eyes.
Well, because she was getting older. She was seeing and hearing what he was singing about.
Yeah.
So...
he's a lyrical genius. He is
a lyrical genius.
He is 100% original. The beat, the melody, right? The lyrics,
words.
Everything. That respect to originality. Because we know a lot of people in this world that are big copycats.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Not just in our lives, but in general.
In general, yeah.
You know? But yeah, no, I mean, I was just, speaking on our topic today. But I just, the end of the week wound up being really good. Our weekend has been fantastic. I mean, I can't say anything more. It's just been really good.
Well, let me share with everyone what actually happened in podcast land. The people on YouTube know, and even though the video version of our podcast is on YouTube, we're also on the audio only network, Amazon and Amazon Music. We're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Your very favorite is iHeartRadio, Amazon's Audible, YouTube's Music, and the rest of the not as popular ones. But my first hearing for my circuit civil case, that's what Don, not John. That was a slip. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
My first hearing for the circuit civil case was this past Friday, on Friday, February 6, 2026. And Don didn't want to come out and say anything, but I'll say briefly that the hearing was favorable towards myself. I'm not going to call it a win, even though some people on YouTube have been calling it a win. It was a hearing, and the defendant tried to get sanctions on me for spoliation of evidence, which is destruction of evidence or altering evidence to the point of where it would affect him presenting his case. That did not happen. He tried to also get adverse inference on me. Both of those motions were denied by the Honorable Judge Susan Stacy, who was actually, I looked into the judge when I found out who the judge was of our case after I filed it back in August of last year. But wow, I was just even more impressed than what I had, seen of her. And I saw a video of her, little over 10 years ago, before she was elected as circuit court judge in Florida, that she wants to bring, fairness and equality to her courtroom. And I'm like, wow, she's been doing it 10 years. She's still cool, calm, and collected, very reasonable, very professional. She even complimented both the defendant and I that we're two of the best pro se litigants that she's ever seen, which I was quite shocked to hear a judge get a little personal like that.
Which tells me that she is still prime in her career. She's not worn out.
She's not an old cranky judge.
Yeah, she's still hip.
But she cares about people getting
right and wrong.
The right type of justice.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of judge you want when you've been dealing with someone that's been defaming you. I'm suing for defamation of character, for malicious prosecution. This person tried to get a stalking order on me that was dismissed for insufficient evidence, abuse of process, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. You want to get the right judge. And I was just, wow. I was just very, very impressed. The hearing went very well. It was 30 minutes. It was very smooth. And now we have this motion to dismiss / anti-SLAPP hearing that's coming up in April in about 2 months from now. And I have a good idea of what, Judge Stacy is looking for, and I know exactly how to prepare. And I've been hearing things that the defendant might hire an attorney for that. Even if he does, I'm still going to go pro se. It's all good.
We welcome it. I mean, we don't care. Honestly, to the defendant, you do what you have to do to make yourself feel comfortable with this case. We're going to do what we do, and we respect both parties.
Well, of course, right. And so, we just wanted to give you a little update regarding that in podcast land.
Yeah.
To the people that are more so listening to us through the audio-only network. If you want to watch the video and you're in the audio-only podcast land, go in the description section halfway down. There's a link to the YouTube video there. And subscribe to that channel and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, it's not like we're saying this to be like we're right and these people have been wrong and you guys should be on our side. No, this is all kind of evidence, like evidentiary that, we are legit when we're coming and speaking to you. We are coming from our heart.
Right.
We are real, like real AF. And so this kind of proves it to y'all. And I hope that you take that into consideration while you're watching us or listening.
Yeah. And to, part of our topic involves one of the main reasons why I feel, it was necessary to sue this person, because he himself has been very dysregulated on YouTube, and he has a dysregulated group of people that consume his content. So, they're doing things without thinking about the consequences or not caring about the consequences. And the only way you can get what's called relief, you go to court to get relief. You don't go there to punish someone or anything like that. You go to court to get relief that you can't get by just saying, hey, man, just stop doing what you're doing. That's violating me, copyright and defamatory and all that. We tried that for many years. This has been ongoing for years. And when that can't happen, the only place you can get relief with dysregulated people is in the court of law, because the court forces everyone to be regulated.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then, the last thing I want to do is piss off Judge Stacy. I'll tell you that. I don't want to do that. I have mad respect for the court and for her. And, so.
Just the whole judicial system is, he's saying he has respect for everybody in that situation, Well,
it's called due process.
Yeah.
I believe in due process.
Absolutely.
Because
that's what the Constitution was all made for, is like, you're not guilty or you're innocent until proven guilty,
Well, that's yes, but you're talking more about a criminal case, but
it can also go into just this kind of thing, like them saying that you've done something that's criminal.
Right.
Well, in that sense, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Well, these dysregulated people like to think I'm guilty until proven innocent. They work the opposite way, but that's not the way due process
works. That's a better way for me to put that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the way due process works.
No.
I'll tell you something, babe. If we didn't have due process here in the U.S., we would all be massively dysregulated. I think even the best of us would be massively dysregulated without some kind of government intervention or laws to,
especially since we have the most dysregulated president in our
I gotta
history.
say, man, that guy is dysregulated in our opinion, of course. Right?
Yeah, but he's been the most in the history of all the presidents. So
either that or he's one hell of an actor.
Right. We think a little bit of both.
Probably.
A little bit of both.
Probably.
No disrespect.
It's funny how he calls our governor here in California Gavin Newsom. He calls him Gavin Newscum. And then when Trump and Newsom get together in person, Trump is sucking up to him. It's so funny.
Yeah, they're like
so
super nice to each other and shaking hands and kissy face, whatever. But, maybe it is an act. Maybe they do truly like each other, but they've got to put on the social media act.
No, that they don't like each other. But
I'm saying the hypothetical.
I understand. Newsom is more civil. He's not going to sit there and play childish games
But
Trump.
he was doing the back and forth trolling.
Yeah, well, Newsom and his administration, they've started making memes because they're like, okay, look, if Trump's going to do that, then you know what? We're just going to beat him at his own game. But I mean,
you know what? You know what sucks though is that people that actually do love Newsom have now started calling him Newscum because it just flows out of the mouth because they hear it.
I call him that. I respect him. I call him that because I'm just laughing at how childish Trump is to call him that, right? And Newsom is one that's come out publicly and said, yeah, you know, people have been calling me Newscum since I was younger, and you know, I've been hearing that for years.
It's nothing new.
Whatever. At the end of the day, what matters is taking care of the people, right? Taking care of the people for Newsom here in California. And also for Trump taking care of the people in the entire U.S., which also does include California. I think the reason why Trump doesn't really like Newsom, doesn't like California, we're the fourth largest economy in the world on our own, and the rest of the country is very dependent on us.
Yeah,
and I mean, look, we are the biggest state. We are the largest economy out of any state in the U.S. and the fourth largest in the entire world. So, I mean, that's just...
Hi. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
Hi. Somebody wants some attention.
Can I speak into the mic?
I want to talk. I feel my mama...
There's a microphone right there if you want to join us.
I feel my mama is
You know, Bochy has seen those talking dogs on YouTube.
He's like, right? I want to try that.
Like, I want my own YouTube channel.
You know what? He would go viral.
Yeah.
Just sitting there watching Jeopardy. He is the funniest dog. I watch Jeopardy like Monday through Friday, and it's the first thing I watch in the morning. And he sits in front of the TV staring at that blue screen.
Right.
Like he's actually
Remember, dogs see in 2D, we see in 3D.
Yeah.
So it's probably a different color to him.
Yeah, but it's like he's sitting there looking like he's trying to learn. And I think it's the funniest
I've taken a picture of him and put it on Facebook. I remember the Jeopardy picture I took a few years back. That was great. He was just sitting there.
Just staring at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't barking, wasn't anything, just...
That was definitely what we call nowadays in the modern world a photo op, right?
Yeah.
A photo op, yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get right to it. We're going to start off the first part of the show. We're at 22 minutes. At 45 minutes, we're going to take a break. And then the last 45 minutes, we're only going to be on an hour and a half today due to time constraints. We're going to go over those Reddit postings. But I think it's important to share our experiences of being on YouTube and how it's affected us as a couple and how it's affected us individually, how you've handled things versus how I've handled things, and share your experiences if you're okay with that. Because
well, to a degree, I'll do my best.
No,
oh yeah, absolutely. Okay.
You're living it. So, I mean, you know exactly what you've been dealing with and how it's affected you, how it's affected us, how it's affected our business. Because here's the truth of the matter. Let's start off with this. We are not a drama channel on YouTube. Okay, this video of the podcast goes on our main YouTube channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. We also have GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development on YouTube, our live streaming channel. And we are not a drama channel, but, you know, some other drama channels have intermingled with us as the focal point of their content, which automatically sucks us into their algorithm. And, you know, whatever people that support us here at the GNA do on our YouTube channels, especially people with a moderator edge, wherever else they go, it affects us directly or indirectly. It affects us algorithmically with how YouTube recommends us. Or is YouTube going to tie us into a drama sphere-ish type of group, or are they going to separate us into our own group where we're personal development and we're here to help people in a positive and uplifting way? But you've also learned that where you go, even if I don't go there, where you go affects the business, the G&A, and all of that.
Yes, I do.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah. Frankly, I think it's stupid. I know it's all mathematical algorithms, all that crap.
Yep, it is.
Frankly, I think it's stupid. But because what that does is it makes a person choose which way they're going to go. And I feel that's unfair because there are some people that I like personally that I know are involved or masterminds of this kind of behavior. And I feel it's unfair for me to even go and say hello to her. And that's all I do. And that's going to cause crap on the YouTube, shit. Mm-hmm. So it really, to the core, upsets me that the YouTube is going to control my life that much. Because if somebody is, going through something like this, I want to be there for them. They're my friend, I don't want to have to cut ties to an algorithm or an optic on YouTube.
Right.
So that is my feeling on it. I understand it. Totally get it.
But let's put it to you this way, and I say this respectfully. Dawn and I have talked about this offline, but we're also raw on the fly here, and I can't control how she's going to react to what I say. But we have talked about it. I think where the problem lies in our situation, as an example, is we're trying to run something professional here. And it's not about you going to someone else's channel in a live chat on YouTube and supporting them. It's supporting them with a moderator wrench, and then the person running that channel is saying some of the nastiest, vilest things. Could be saying things that are defamatory to the people that they're talking about. And these may be also people that have been coming at us as well. And I know you don't agree with that in the way it's being said. Maybe you feel the person they're talking about has wronged them or us or other people. But you don't fight fire with fire, and then you don't even escalate further than that. You don't escalate further than that, meaning you say vile things that aren't true that could be considered defamatory. And so you're not intentionally trying to harm the organization or bring that drama back to our end. But how it looks publicly, because YouTube's a shared platform, people are going to say, what is Dawn doing there with a mod wrench supporting this creator that is saying this stuff, even if she doesn't agree with that stuff? It could almost be perceived as guilty as association. And I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, but
I want you to talk about it because this affects people that may be dealing with this in a similar situation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just with that in mind, like I was saying, I don't think it's right for the YouTube to do that.
But this has nothing to do with YouTube. This has to do with how are people going to perceive.
Okay. My thought on that is people are going to perceive it however they want to. People that don't have an open mind to what is going on in the world, just in general, that people are able to separate themselves from somebody else's chaos in their life of what's going on. I used to be and still am a person where I tended to have girlfriends, girlfriend relationships with, people that were a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
And my friend in Sacramento, for instance, is 14 years younger than me. I don't know. I wanted to take her under my wing, and we've become very good friends. But people questioned it. They're like, what is somebody in their, early 40s doing with somebody in their 20s, And it was more like a big sister, little sister thing for me.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, she's just my little kid sister, and I just like to have fun with her now. And I mean,
that could have been jealousy. That could have been dysregulated people just acting dysregulated. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
There's nothing abnormal with you in your early 40s wanting to be friends with someone in their 20s because you want to help guide them through life. So you hope they don't make the same mistakes you made.
Well, yeah,
right?
But at my current stage there, I wasn't really that person because I was partying along and doing,
so you were
going out
you were
drinking.
self-soothing each other. Basically,
Yeah.
you were validating each other that your shitty behavior that you were both doing is normal.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not good. Go ahead.
That's not good. And then now that carries on to now. But the way I've separated it is that, okay, if somebody has a problem with myself or Eli, that gives me the right to have a problem with them. So whatever I say in interactions, that's strictly between us. Now, if somebody else has an issue with that same person that I prior had an issue with, this is not my problem. That's their problem. And I don't feel like I should be dragged into that. Like Eli and I didn't want to drag people into our drama. Cause we didn't even have drama. They inserted themselves and made it drama. So what?
I understand, but I'm going to intervene.
Okay.
Because what you're saying at a face value with your heart and soul is understandable.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with what your intentions are, but what you and others may not be realizing is how it is perceived to the general public. How it's perceived to the general public. Forget about YouTube's algorithm here. This is about how it's perceived to the general public. We are an LLC, limited liability company, okay? And we are a personal development company here where we help uplift and inspire people to become the best version of themselves. So we're about positivity. When we go to someone else's YouTube channel and they're a full-blown drama channel, which is one thing, but when they say vile things, such as some creators have been saying vile things about someone's deceased father and how that deceased father
became deceased.
What's that?
Became deceased.
Well, not only that, but don't say specifically.
No.
Say it in proper words. What was happening to that person in prison before he became deceased. First of all, in this situation, I don't even know if that story is true. I'm using it as an example.
Yeah, but you just told me not to be specific, and our YouTube people are going to know exactly what you're talking about. I know the
YouTube people will. It doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying here is that you're going there listening to this creator saying those types of things. You're not there to agree with that. You're there with a moderator wrench. You say you support this creator. When you say you support someone, you basically are supporting them in a general way. And even if you don't agree with the nasty things they're saying, people can perceive that you do. That's where the problem lies. And I'm not blaming you. You're there because you've been through a lot of the things this person has been through, and you want to be supportive in hopes that it helps them regulate their dysregulation. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, I do want people to be able to do that because it is a peaceful living situation.
Uh-huh.
I admit I'm dysregulated a lot. I am. I'm a woman. I'm dealing with, menopause, all of these things, all these hormones and crap. That could dysregulate anybody.
Well, I'll give you that. Menopause can definitely cause that.
You know what?
I hear you.
You know what, Jesus, God, whoever, what did we do to you? We have to give birth and then we have to go through a change? Why? I'm just playing, guys. I'm playing.
Well, that's what the Lord.
That's how it works. That's why women are superior. So we're the only way that this land and this world will continue.
That's true.
So we are superior. But anyways, back to that. I find that, I'm drawn to that because I just want to help people. I want to let them be themselves, but also try to guide in their decision making without blatantly saying that's wrong. Don't do that. You know?
Because the moment you start saying that is the moment they kick you out because they're
exactly because they don't. You're not doing what they want you to do.
Well, they're so dysregulated that if you're not at least pretending to be dysregulated along with them and be there for their dysregulated agenda, then you're gone.
Which is what I'm not doing in this current situation that we're in. I just want to go on record saying that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've done that in the past. Mm-hmm. Now I bring up the Sacramento friend because I have lots of friends, but these two are my closest. The one I have in Hollister, she's the same age as me. But she has a young daughter that we both feel like we kind of helped raise her in those pivotal teenage years. Mm-hmm. You know, I lived right across the street from my friend. I was over there all the time. I went to a lot of her school functions. We drove out to Santa Cruz for her prom. We brought her there. Mm-hmm. You know, I was there for graduation. I was celebrating my friend's daughter and really my friend's accomplishment, you know, to get her to 18 to graduate having a happy, well-adjusted child. And, you know, so I'm not totally drawn to like hot messes to fix. You know, it's not that. It's even just having the feeling of, you know, kind of like she knows what I'm going through. And that could be whether it's a child. What
you're saying is that you relate to them.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
We'll just break it down to that. Yeah.
Because to remind everyone, you know, almost about a year and a half ago, you started getting clean from alcohol. You've been sober for a year and a half, and I'm proud of you for that. And I think a lot of that may have been causing a lot of the dysregulation.
That's what I was saying. Right?
And so now you're on a path towards regulation, and you're at a fork in the road, right? You're at a fork in the road because you've always wanted to be regulated, and you know I'm regulated, and I of course I have my moments. We all have our moments of dysregulation, even if we're regulated. But I'm more regulated. I'm a regulated person. I'm a methodical thinker. I'm a deep thinker. I'm very analytical. And,
you are.
And the thing is, dysregulated people don't like analytical people because we can pretty much analyze their crappy behavior, and they just don't want to hear it.
Okay.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking in general.
I know.
So, you've turned that around, and you're heading in the right direction, and you want to help people. And you know what? I went through the same thing on YouTube when I first started 7 to 8 years ago. I was trying to help all these dysregulated people because they're the ones that need the most help, and I felt bad for them. But look where it led me. It led me into all of these dysregulated people now conglomerating together, creating the Eli Hate Group clan. And then 1 or 2 or 3 creators have been exploiting me commercially over all this, which is why we're in court right now. But the bottom line is your intentions are pure, and so are mine. The thing is, in the online world, mixing regulated people with dysregulated people, it creates chaos. It's never worked. Have you noticed that?
See, it goes then back to like sometimes like the opposites attract type of situation. Sometimes you need a little bit of each of it to make a relationship work. Like the dysregulated one, it takes a regulated person to bring them back to reality.
That is true, but they have to be open to it.
Yes, but when you're living with somebody who is quote unquote regulated, you learn and things do change over time as long as you're open to it.
So you're saying I've been a good influence to you?
I'm saying what you started and have continued with support has very much helped me.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, but then you also initiated a team to help me, in ways that you couldn't, as far as my therapist and the doctors that I have.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
So, I mean, in that sense, very regulated. But there have been incidents where you become dysregulated
Of course.
due to life. And that's what I'm trying to say. Not everybody's going to be regulated all the time.
That's true.
You could get like, what do they call them? Like a pink notice or something. You get fired one day. Tell me who's not going to be dysregulated if you get abruptly fired.
Even like I was saying earlier, babe, even the most regulated people are going to have moments of dysregulation. What I'm talking about are people that are constantly dysregulated. There's zero regulation there. That's a problem.
That is a problem. And, that's why on the outside, I try to look in and see, is this an act? Are they just being this way? But when they go home, they're quiet and introverted a little bit. I just try to think outside of the boxes. Why are they acting this way? There's a reason behind it.
Yeah, a lot of it probably has to do with trauma, unresolved trauma,
anger.
Feeling a lack of purpose. Maybe things that they've done in the past never panned out for them. So they resort to the one thing that pretty much will almost work for anyone. Let me just, try to monetize my dysregulation on YouTube and find other dysregulated people that feel what I'm doing is normal, and then they can pay me for my dysregulation.
Yeah, like you're talking, and the defendant is a good example. The defendant had something he was doing. He had a purpose that he really wanted with his drawings and his graphic stuff.
Yeah.
When that didn't go anywhere, that's when he resorted to bullying, because people react to that. He couldn't market and sell his t-shirts and graphics any other way than to bring drama into it and make those graphics be insulting to other people.
This is about what is the most financially rewarding.
Exactly.
And in this case, it is much easier and quicker to make $100, $200, $300 doing a 2-hour live stream than having to sell 20 t-shirts to make that same amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
It's much easier, right? And
but it also failed.
All they have to do is talk. What's that?
I said it also failed because he didn't push it. He didn't push it the right way.
It takes a lot more work to make money the right way. And it's a lot easier to make money off of outrage, and easier and quicker. But it comes with a price. There's always a cycle, and every cycle is going to end up ending. And, renewing that cycle when it ends typically every year takes a lot of energy and work, a lot of emotional energy, which further causes dysregulation, in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Nothing else to say on that one.
Yeah, so we're at 43 minutes. We need to wrap this up so you can take your first break.
Yeah, okay.
Give me a second before you do that. Let's just wrap this up because we're going to get into the Reddit postings when you come back. So if you had to give like one takeaway regarding what you've learned about dysregulated versus regulated people online, what would that be, babe? What is the thing that you've learned the most? Because you have learned a lot.
I've learned that 98% of the people on YouTube are dysregulated. And that is their outlet for their dysregulation. It is their way to get the approval that they are not getting from other people that actually are directly involved in their lives. And so if somebody's going in there and acting up, calling all these names and they get a good group of people that have already been that way, then it's just, you're adding fuel to a fire, and it just starts burning and it gets out of control. Shoot, I was going to say something else and it came and left as fast as it.
Well, okay. Let me say real quick, and you might think of it, while I say this. You said 98%. I know you're kind of probably exaggerating a little bit. It feels that way. I think it's more like 50-50. Half of YouTube is that way.
60-40.
Maybe 60-40. But it seems like 98% because the people that
those are the people I'm in contact with.
Well, the people that are dysregulated are louder than regulated people.
Yeah.
So it seems like there's more than there actually is. One dysregulated person can make so much more noise than 100 regulated people.
Yeah.
Right? So it seems like it's more, but I get it. I think it's about half, but it's bad enough.
Yeah.
Bad enough.
Yeah.
Did you remember what you were going to say?
Nope. It probably was involved in what I was saying already, kind of meshed.
If you remember towards the next segment of the show, then we can get to that. But any other final thoughts you want to make?
No, I actually think this opening was really great. Examples, especially, I'm not to toot my own horn, but the examples that I have given, because they are not YouTube related. So we're giving you
some of them were, but others were.
Well, yeah. I'm talking about my own personal life outside of YouTube. So showing the two different worlds that I'm currently living in.
Dysregulation can happen anywhere, not just online.
Yeah. And so, I could go further into that with other people who can really use manipulation as a weapon, but that's not really what we're talking about today. So I just want to say we started off really good.
It's an insecurity, babe. It's an insecurity that they can't do things the right way and get the same or better results.
Yeah, I could see that. That's fair.
Or they don't want to work harder. Some people are just lazy, right?
That was a big thing I was going to say, is the laziness.
Or the lack of self-confidence to be able to accomplish something by putting a little more work into it.
Well, yeah, the amount of self-confidence that if somebody says no, you in your head, you say bullshit and you keep going. Not verbally, but in your head.
Right.
You're like, F you, I can do this.
That's right.
And you got to keep having that attitude. Every door shut is the room for another one to open.
Yeah, that's called performance bravado on YouTube. That's just performing so that way you keep fueling the outrage cycle that the audience wants and they show up for, right?
Yeah.
When you don't do that, no one shows up. It's crickets, right?
Yep. Okay, ready?
All right, let me turn off the camera here. And Dawn is going to go step away and take a quick break before we get into these 3 Reddit postings. We are at 47 minutes. While Dawn is gone, I would like to remind you all that if you are listening to us on the audio-only podcast network, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music, we're on My Lady's Favorite iHeartRadio, we're on Amazon's Audible, we're also on YouTube's Music, and also on several other not as popular or not as well-known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us anywhere on the audio-only podcast network, go below in the description about halfway down. You'll see the link there to the video version. If you'd rather watch us on video with the same exact audio, we actually rip the audio for the podcast from the video recording. When you click that link, it'll redirect you to that video, which is on our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association. And please subscribe and bang the bell, and then make sure you select all notifications, because that's where every episode of the podcast is released on the video end of things. And you'll be notified the moment that we release the podcast. For the time being, and since we started this last year, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. If you're in a different time zone, you can figure it out based off of that. And then, while you're there within that viewing, if you go to the description section, a couple lines down, you'll see the link to our secondary live streaming channel, GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. I do Walking with Purpose streams almost every day. They're more informal. They have a topic, but they're more informal, and we can talk about anything as long as it's reasonable. We try to, avoid trolls and drama and all that. We very heavily moderate our live chats. If people have reasonable personal development questions, whether they're for personal for personal reasons or professional, we'll tackle them. I'll tackle them on the stream. Sometimes Don will join me on the walks. Sometimes we do driving with purpose streams from the road in our car. Sometimes we do on the couch with Don and Eli. Sometimes Don and I will do a live stream together in here. Sometimes I'll do live streams on my own in the same studio that we record the podcast. So if you want to connect more deeply with us and get all of our content, and most of it is free, of course, you can choose to donate. You can look at the description section on how to do that. But donations are greatly appreciated, but they are not required. Just come and consume the content and learn to become a better you. That's what we're all about at the GNA. We really want to help each and every one of you become a better you. And it's been a struggle because of all this chaos and outrage. And Dawn was coming back into the studio and she opened the door, then closed it and said, "Hold on a second." Okay. She's about to pop back in. No, that's okay. They can probably barely hear you because you're away from the mic, but it's okay.
I was trying to get a score.
Oh, we don't, babe, it's okay. We'll find out about the Super Bowl later. We're recording this during the Super Bowl.
Well, I know. I just wondered if I popped it on to see if there was a score.
We record these podcasts on Sunday and release them on Sundays and Wednesdays. So. Yeah.
We obviously don't know an outcome.
Are we ready to go back on camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
We obviously don't know the outcome, but I am hoping the Seahawks win. And that only comes from a deep-seated hatred for the Patriots.
I don't know.
Which comes from Tom Brady.
After I saw Tom Brady doing color commentary a few weeks back, I got to tell you, I mean, he's actually toned it down.
He's a smart man. Very freaking smart.
No one knows football like Tom Brady.
Yes, he knows that game in and out, backwards, forwards, and
my
sideways.
brother even said on Facebook he's like the best color man in the business, color commentary.
Yeah.
Like, no, Brady.
I'm not going to take that away. But what he did while he played is questionable.
No, I understand. Listen. Everyone's done some dumb things in their lives, including Brady. Yes, with his didn't he get divorced?
But the Deflategate during the Super Bowl with the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff that's happened, everybody goes through controversial things. At the end of the day, the guy knows football, and he's going to have, if he wants it, a very incredible career as a football color commentator. Like, he knows the game, and he was just very professional when he did it and just really down to earth. I think Tom Brady is learning. I think
he's learning, but I need to see something before, and it's wrong for me to take like this out on the Patriots. But I mean, it goes down to like my baseball hatred for the Dodgers.
I get it, babe.
So I mean, there's got to be one team you just hate.
It's all good. All
righty.
good.
Let's get back to these people.
I'm not a big Seahawks fan, and there are many reasons for that, and we're not going to get into them.
The Seahawks or Patriot fan?
No, I said I'm not a big Seahawks fan, and there are many reasons for that.
You can tell me after.
I'm not going to mention them here.
Okay, you'll tell me after, though, right?
Yes, I will, baby.
And it has nothing to do with last game they played, right?
No,
okay.
No. Okay.
All righty, let's move on.
Let's move along here. All right. We got.
It's warm in here.
We got 3 YouTube postings to go over here, and we've got about. We're at 53 minutes. We have 37 minutes. That's good. All right, so let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser screen here. This very first Reddit posting is from the subreddit r/partnered YouTube. That's like a subreddit for creators in the YouTube Partner Program, and I'm a part of this group. I'm not banned in this group. That's good. I am a part of the YouTube. We are part of the YouTube Partner Program on both of our channels. And the original poster's title is YouTube Community is Toxic. Example below.
Duh.
Okay. I don't have anything to say because it's true.
I think I said it, right?
You did. Let's check this out. Talk discussion. I've noticed something that might resonate with a few of you. Many YouTube communities, including this one, are full of people who seem to resent others' success. There's a huge jealousy factor on YouTube. People want to say, I get more views than you. I make more ad revenue than you. I get more super chats than you. I get more donations than you. I'm more popular than you. That's
Really? Okay.
That's massive dysregulation.
And all I have to say is that is okay. That's how you feel.
Well, I don't think it is okay behavior, but that's dysregulation.
But to a dysregulated person, you'll say that's okay. That's how you feel.
Right. And that triggers them more because they're trying to trigger a response and get a back and forth going. Right.
But that's when you rise above.
Exactly.
Don't
or you
give
just
them
say,
what
hey,
they
I'm
need.
not going to feed into a back and forth that has no purpose or meaning. Right.
That's like two kids like, Mom loves me more. No, Mom loves me more.
That's childish stuff, baby. And that's what these people on YouTube are. But the difference is they're grown adults, or they should be grown adults, right?
Yeah.
Now, including this one, are full of people who seem to resent others' success. Instead of being open to learning or lifting each other up, they default to moral high ground shaming, likely because they're frustrated with their own results. That's just the reality. And that's exactly what you've been dealing with in the communities that you want to support, right?
Yeah.
So they default to moral high ground shaming. Oh, man, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Let's continue. I've made several posts here, some to encourage, others to ask for advice, and far too often I've been met with negativity or outright hostility. That's because you're regulated and they're not. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Like if you're putting stuff out there that is proper, that is kind, that is loving, that is normal and reasonable, the people that are like you are going to be, yeah, that's cool. The people that are dysregulated, that breaks their chain. It breaks their chain, right? And they come out and say, oh, who the hell are you? You live on such a moral high ground and this and that. And no, we're just normal. That's all.
Well, I just said what's normal, but who cares if you think we're high, like acting like we live on the higher ground? It's your perception from what we're actually putting out. So, I try to tell Eli a lot. It's what we say that is ultimately gonna, be, that's the truth, is what you say. How they interpret it is all up to them. Right. How they want to spin it, it's all up to them. I don't care. I know my truth. I know your truth.
Yep.
And that's all that matters to Eli and myself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get where you're coming from. And honestly, that's fine. I'm a grateful person by nature, and I've always enjoyed helping others. Maybe that's part of what's helped me grow. And that's describing us. That's why I started the GNA, because of that, what this person just said. Recently, I shared that I made over 300K in less than a year on YouTube Shorts. Wow.
Damn, son.
Shit, I'm even jealous of that. I'll come out and say that myself.
I'm doing the wrong thing on YouTube.
Man. Damn.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
And I believe him. But yeah, shit. I'm regulated, but man, we could use another 300K.
Kudos. The
300K would come in pretty handy right now.
Well, me and the dogs would do it.
Yeah.
And the dogs would get the attention.
And instead of curiosity or thoughtful questions, I got a ton of accusations, mostly claiming I steal content. If he was stealing content, he wouldn't get paid. He'd be demonetized and removed. Because YouTube is very strict on that. They're very strict on reused content. So this is about people being jealous.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, I'm saying I'm jealous, and I kind of am, but I'm regulated. I'm saying that more as a joke and as an incentive on, hey, man, teach us how to do that.
Well,
right? Positive.
Yeah, you could take it that way, but that's where I go back to. That's just encouragement to another human that's succeeding. It's not true jealousy. Yeah, you wish you might be at that level, but it's really, if you're the right person, it's happiness for them that they've been able to achieve it. And maybe that motivates you to do more. Maybe the two of you have now helped each other, you know?
Yeah. Now, this gets more interesting here. Let me be clear. What I do is what many major YouTubers do. I take existing media, add my own voiceover, context, edits, and style. It is transformative, legal, and effective. Simple. It works. It goes viral. He's basically sharing news stories, which many people do, and there's no problem with that. It's the right way to use fair use. You can take small excerpts and do commentary and, give people a short version of what's happening instead of people having to consume 15-minute, 30-minute, hour-long videos that they may not have time for, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this crazy, busy, modern digital world we all live in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sharing a screenshot of my earnings from my main shorts channel attached below. Not to brag, but to prove that this can be done if you stay consistent and think smart. I don't share my channel names for obvious reasons. They hate the copycats, and because I've already seen people trying to replicate my exact style. I think, we may have come across this posting in the past, but it works fine here. It sounds familiar to me, which is fine if it's organic, but I'm not handing it out like a template. For those who've messaged me, I truly appreciate it. I wish I could reply to everyone. Whether you've supported me or criticized me, I wish you well. I hope you channel that energy into building something of your own, because it is more than possible. Keep going. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think this whole subject is very interesting and educating. Like you and I were talking, a lot of people might look at a dysregulated person and just think that they're mental, that they're crazy, well, we don't like to use that word either. But it's not really a personality issue. It's more of emotional trauma. So it's just a sticky freaking situation with people.
Yeah. Well, check this out. So one person says in the comments, you're not satisfied with making a ton of money off other people's work. You also want people to admire you. You're a narcissistic thief. That is not true.
I agree with the fact that he's saying he's creative and doing it on his own, but why does that make him a narcissist?
Well, here's the thing. He's probably doing 1 minute shorts. You can do up to 3-minute shorts, I believe. Now, I haven't done them in a while. But he's making shorts, probably sharing news stories and doing commentary, and they're calling him a content thief. You're allowed, under fair use, to use small clips, small excerpts for news reporting, commentary, criticism, etc.
Movie reviews, whatever.
It doesn't mean that he's using the entire piece of someone else's content. It means that he's probably going to ABC or CBS or Fox or NBC and basically, playing a few clips of a news story and then doing commentary. Now, if he was sitting there and doing live rebroadcasts of everything,
Chris Cuomo,
that would be a different story.
But if he wants to take like the Chris Cuomo show, for example, and show a little bit of what Chris has to say and then a little bit of what his guests have to say, but not use the whole thing. Basically, the question Chris asks and the question or the answers his guests. That's all you should be using.
15 seconds, 30 seconds, do commentary in between. That's not a problem. I don't see a problem.
Like Chris asks the question, stop it. Talk about what his question is, what you feel about it, what you think they're going to answer. Then go to one person's answer, stop, evaluate that, and then go to the last one. I mean, it seems like a logical thing to me, but I am nobody else is like me. And I'm not saying that as a conceited thing. I'm saying that I'm not like anybody else as well. Nobody is above anybody.
Right. Now look at this. The original poster responded and said, thanks for proving my point. And that other person just proved the point of the original poster, that they're jealous. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Another poster says, you came back because people didn't believe you complaining about how toxic they are while acting just like people you say you can't stand. The whole thing just feels petty and circular. And I'm not quite sure how, are they pointing that to the original poster or the people complaining about it? Because if he's talking about the people that are complaining about him having made $300K off of YouTube Shorts in a year, and basically doing fair use commentary and doing it the right way, I get where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I get where he's coming from. This comment is coming from. Anything you want to add to that?
No.
So the original poster comes back and says, one of the main reasons I became successful was because I found a channel I loved and said, this person is making X amount of money doing this and maybe I could do it too. Well, here I am trying to motivate at least one person. And okay, and that's reasonable. But then somebody else says, to be fair, you're not really showing anyone anything, though. You're just showing a screenshot of how much money you made. I agree Reddit can be toxic, but I don't get why you don't at least describe your videos and how they're not stolen if you want people to believe you so bad. I don't want them to see what I'm doing, he responds. I'm saying it can be done. That's what got me to where I am. So he doesn't want to give away a strategy that would hurt what's working for him if multiple other people duplicated it.
It's like asking a reporter for their source.
Right.
They're not going to give that out because then what's a big deal with their story? It's going to be the same as everybody else's.
Right. And I'm not here to judge this guy. I haven't seen his content. He said YouTube Shorts. Shorts are typically small clips, so I mean, even if you're using someone else's content under fair use for commentary, that's a pretty small amount that typically is safe to use. And if YouTube thought he was doing it wrong, they wouldn't pay him $300K. They certainly would not do that. They have every protective measure in place on YouTube. So, somebody says here, it's not legal. It's copyright infringement. You're just yet to be caught. And then he says, I've gotten 2 copyright strikes. I appealed and won both times. I know what I'm doing. No, that's wrong. I'll correct him there. What you did was you filed a counter notification and you basically forced the other person to file a lawsuit. They have 10 business days to do that. That's how it works. He says, I know what I'm doing. So right now, what I'm seeing here is this guy really has done nothing wrong. It seems like it's fair use. But he seems to be coming into this group, talking about people talking shit about him. And then he also at the same time feels the need to explain himself. And that tells me that this guy needs validation from this Reddit audience to be assured that what he's doing is right. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he wants to show off. He doesn't seem like a bad person, but why feel the need to come into this group? It's almost kind of like what you do.
Mm-hmm.
This is similar to what you do.
Yeah.
He's probably doing this for the right reasons. You going into these drama chats, you're doing it for the right reason. And then you feel the need to explain yourself why you're there without being asked. Now, I have asked you. And, nobody asked this person. He went there, made a posting seeking for responses. Go ahead.
I want to clarify. So if there is a channel and I am going to use, let's say, I don't know how to say, okay, it's the woman who has, the stone's ability, the spiritual ability.
Witch.
The witch, yes.
Yes,
but
you don't have to mention which one, but that's okay.
The right one.
Okay, so say you wanted to do what? Do commentary on her videos?
If I wanted to go on to her, like if she did a live, if I went on, I don't have a wrench, and if I comment there, does that link our optics to whatever quote unquote
without a wrench, less likely.
Okay.
But here's the thing. She's tied into that drama group.
That's why I gave her as an example.
Whether she wants to be tied to that group or not.
Yes.
She's tied to that group.
And I say that because I really like this person. And so I just want to know how me liking her is going to affect everything else.
You can like whoever you want.
Well, yeah, I know, but me liking her and actually saying.
Listen, it's going to be impossible to filter out every drama group on YouTube while we grow the GNA with the most reasonable people on the planet. What we're trying to do is mitigate how much drama we're involved in, and even if we don't intend to be a part of drama. Sometimes just going places, people will just, see you there and then just start, saying negative things about you and your business just for being there. So we have to pick and choose where it's most wise to show up and spend our time at, not just for time purposes, but for optics purposes, right?
Yes.
So probably not in that situation, but she is tied into the drama.
Yeah, it's just good clarification for me to kind of know how those optics work a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to explain. Okay, let me read one more and then we'll go to the next one here. Okay. Let's see. From a legal standpoint, you don't really know what you're doing. Now, this person, I believe, is going back and forth. Yeah, this big chicken leg is going back and forth.
Somebody's triggered.
Now this person that made the posting is in there and just poking fun at these people in a playful way. This could be somebody looking to just start something up for more attention. Like if I was this original poster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with what he's doing,
Mm-mm.
but based on how he's reacting in the comments section, it almost seems to me like he did it on purpose to get engagement and to get more people to check him out. And I mean, I'm not a mind reader, but someone that wants to make a positive posting is not going to respond in ways that are going to antagonize these people, right?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with saying, hey, I understand you feel that way. This is not what I'm doing. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm just here to help people and share what's worked for me. I'm not going to give away my secret. But what I'm saying is that you can find your own method through YouTube Shorts and make a lot of money and enjoy what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use other content under fair use as long as you do it right.
And your shorts don't have to be like critical of other people. They don't have to be like you're putting a picture of their face with something that's really bad. What they should be about is like things that are on in your life. Like do a short of you walking for like 3 minutes and, showing what the surrounding areas are like, or like take your dog for a walk and do a short. People like to see also other people living a real life and being real, it comforts them. Go on.
You're right. Okay. We're at 1 hour and 13 minutes. Let's go to the second posting here. This is from the subreddit r/YouTubers. And the original poster's title is, why is this community so toxic?
Okay, pretty much the same question, but worded a little different.
Obviously, I'm not speaking about everyone, but it seems there is a lot of toxic people here. Lots of downvoted posts of honest people asking for advice. And then on the flip side, low-effort channels and mid-thumbnails asking for an opinion. And when people give an opinion that doesn't praise their work, downvoted. Well, that's how it works online.
Yeah.
That's how dysregulated people respond when you're being normal, reasonable, and regulated, right, babe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. It's like people just post here seeking validation and are not actually seeking advice. Well, that's pretty much how most of the internet is gone nowadays. And Don and I are trying to bring reality to it and bring a lot more to it than just people doing dumb things and using outrage to get attention for validation.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, anyone that's been around on the internet for a while now, and it's been around for a while, or especially if you've been a part of YouTube communities, then you would understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Posted on alt, meaning an alt account, as I can only imagine the downvotes this will get, LOL. Well, how many downvotes? It won't even tell me. It says 185 upvotes. I don't even think that
YouTube doesn't show the amount of down ones either.
I just upvoted it. Oh, it doesn't tell you the amount. It just tells you how many upvotes. And if you downvote it, it gives you, it lowers that upvote number. Okay,
so
I see how
that
I see
number
how they're
is
doing
6.
it. I see how they're doing it.
Okay.
So let's read a few comments here. I think it can be difficult for people to let go of their ego to actually take or give good advice, especially with something as personal and or labor intensive as making videos if you aren't using AI. It takes a lot of work to create content. And, creator burnout is real.
Oh, God, yeah.
And everyone is trying to win in the same space. It's just like YouTube's like the digital world of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's plenty of space for everyone, but there's a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
And standing out is incredibly difficult to do, as this platform has now been around for over 20 years. Trying to create new material constantly and be unique and different and stay within the terms of service and not violate copyright. There's a lot that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, babe? What are your thoughts?
Oh, no, I have nothing more to say on that.
Okay. This person responds in the comments section and says, hard when most of the advice feels like all right. After some not so thorough analysis, you suck, your channel sucks. Those are just insults because they have nothing of substance to say to your good substance, and they're jealous. And if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll never get better. Instead of, hey, your stuff is good, but it could be better, here's how. Because the other way allows them to get more clicks and more attention on their end.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes them feel more important than you. It's like self-validation.
Yeah.
That's all. Go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with like everything.
Yeah. Not every approach has to be met with strict instructions and bluntness. I knew a guy who lived by the rules in the sub, reciting literally everything that other people here were saying, but not in the good way, the blunt, off-putting way. And it's not like he was even that big. He only has 2.4K subs, and he acts like he's Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast has...
Mr. Beast is Mr. Beast.
Okay, you know who Mr. Beast is.
Who doesn't? If
Jimmy
they're in this world, if you don't know who he is, you're fired.
I hate people like that. People who find the need to be dicks instead of actually helpful. If you genuinely care about someone's growth, you can say the same thing in a nicer connotation without shattering their dreams or goals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not how most people are on YouTube. They're not, because that doesn't work with the YouTube outrage algorithm and many of the people on YouTube. I've come across some good apples, don't get me wrong, but for example, like 90% of the comments on my post about how my content were a-holes who didn't seem to know or care about how to be kind. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's the truth. I think people know how to genuinely be kind. But I think, like I've said before, YouTube offers, the protection to not be kind, to not maybe say what's really on your mind when you really should just be minding your own business. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and people are doing it for content.
Yeah.
They're creating outrage because that's the quickest way to get attention and quickest way to make money. But every outrage cycle has what I just said, a cycle. And in order to keep the outrage going, you have to constantly feed that cycle. And it becomes very emotionally taxing and draining after a while.
Yeah.
And that could easily give someone running a channel like that very, very bad creator fatigue. Very bad fatigue.
Yeah.
And you can see it happening in many drama groups already, right?
Yeah.
What if the stuff... Oh, hold on a second. What if the stuff isn't good? Well, if it is not good, there's still a way to tell people, hey, maybe this isn't for you without being an a-hole. I even said how in my comment. Yeah, I mean, it depends on your approach. Do you want to take the positive approach or the negative approach? If you take the negative approach and you're on social media, it's typically because your content depends on, outrage. And look, people in the real world can be a-holes too, right?
Yeah.
But not nearly as bad as YouTube, where the more of an a-hole you are constantly, the more
crowd you get.
Well, the more the algorithm rewards you, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could say something like that about Joe Rogan. He's very outrageous with his comments and how he feels, and that draws a lot of people in because he causes some controversy there.
He does, but even he's kind of toned it down a bit. Like Joe Rogan has actually toned it down a bit. He's still Joe Rogan, but I mean, he's toned it down a bit. I believe he used to be a big Trump supporter, and he's really not feeling it for Trump lately. And a lot of people, even his own people, are turning
not feeling it. Yeah,
that's another story.
Let's
but
go.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh my God.
Social media is toxic. It is a reflection of society. Well, that's exactly what it is. Like I was saying about what Gary Vee said last week. Social media isn't changing us; it is exposing us. I mean, that's all that's happening. You think these people that behave this way on YouTube are acting most of the time? No, they're being themselves, but they're also learning that them being the way they are, if they can figure out how to monetize that, then they'll start to amp up their own dumb things to keep the outrage cycle going. So that's what's happening there. Reddit as a whole is very toxic. I would disagree on that.
I would disagree. I would say YouTube in a whole.
The YouTube live stream aspect can be very toxic in a drama community. It's real-time emotional amplification, engagement for donations. It's like, Reddit is not as bad, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And Dawn obviously agrees because she jumped in. I see it. You and I have been living this.
Oh, yeah.
There are some great communities that aren't toxic, but usually they are strictly geared towards non-political interests of users of a mature age. Half of this community seems like teenagers trying to make gaming channels or get-rich-quick types that can't understand why they are not getting rich. We're at 1 hour and 23 minutes. Any thoughts, baby? We're getting to the last posting here. Okay, let's get to the last one here because we're getting short on time.
All right.
This is from the subreddit r/askreddit. Serious. What online communities have made most positive impact on your life? I figured it would be interesting to end the show this way. And listen to what they said, babe. This was actually 5 years ago. It still makes sense today. I think it is actually Reddit. All those subreddits about self-improvement, some actually made me change for the better.
Good for you.
I agree.
Good for you.
There are toxic communities even on Reddit, but I've seen more positivity than negativity.
Yes.
The negativity is typically happening in real time through live stream engagement, primarily on YouTube, sometimes Instagram, sometimes Facebook, sometimes whatever other platform, TikTok and all that. TikTok is, ugh.
TikTok is, whoa.
Yeah. TikTok is off the hook. But anyway, yes, Reddit is the one. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Reddit's one of the more grounded communities.
Yeah.
Yes, there is toxicity, but see, you can choose which groups you join and don't join. And it's not like live streaming real time stuff on YouTube, and you can even be anonymous too. It's a lot easier to be anonymous on Reddit, than on YouTube. Anything you want to add, babe?
No. I was just thinking, we were talking about wrenches and stuff like that. I think a lot of people hand out wrenches, like a lot, because of the amount.
Which they're now shields. I
know, now
that,
shields.
But
But it is also to protect their channel so that they know that this person is who they say they are. They already have confirmed that.
Right.
And I agree with that, because that does keep your channel safer. But it can also, put your channel at risk.
At risk. Absolutely. Let's read one more before we start wrapping things up. My friends made a Discord server a few years back when I was just done with everything and in a dark place. Like a good friend, I joined and we all got closer and became better friends. Eventually, the server died out and got deleted. I haven't talked to any of them in over a year, but I don't think they understand how much they helped me. I'm glad that it worked out for you. Most Discord servers that I have been a part of in the past or
are unhealthy.
have heard about are very toxic.
Very unhealthy.
They are groups where people will get together and conspire on how to take other YouTubers down, get their channel shut down, get that person in trouble, get other people in trouble. There are probably good Discord servers too. I've never been a part of them. I've actually learned that connecting with too many people very closely and personally behind the scenes can be detrimental. I think a better way to do it is like Reddit. Have a forum where people can make a posting and then you can comment, and then it can be moderated as well. Discord is very real time. You have a group of people. It's like you have a live chat going. You can post things live. It's kind of like a Facebook Messenger, but with some more features, and it's just too crazy. Too crazy for me. I think Discord is one of the most toxic places on
I think
the
I
internet.
have to agree with you. I mean, if let's just say we had a Discord, it's really no different, because the only people we would have in there would be our executive team members. So it's no different than us doing a conference call,
Yeah. I never moved back to the browser screen. I thought I did, but I kept it on us, but that's okay. We're going to be wrapping up soon. But anyway, anything else you want to add to that, babe?
No. I think that really, everything, I think it all wrapped it up really well.
Yeah. We are at 1 hour and 28 minutes.
Damn, we're good.
I have nothing further to say. Very interesting topic. I really hope that things can change in the online world. It's tougher here in the U.S. because our First Amendment laws very much protect people regarding speech. There's a huge gap between First Amendment and defamation. And so, and these social media companies are protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. And, they have no liability for what happens to people on here for the most part. And the liability falls on, if somebody harms you, and they're liable, it falls on you suing them. That's why I had to sue this creator. I can't just go and sue YouTube. So the laws need to get a little bit more in line with this, modern social media world. And I think that's going to be done not during the Trump administration, but probably the next Democratic, liberal administration. Any other thoughts, babe?
No, I just want to end it by speaking out. I'm not naming any names, speaking out to a few of the women out there. And I would say 2 guys. I care about you all deeply. I love you all individually for different ways. And so I hope that you all kind of understand what we're saying, but I'm really not changing who I am. I will still be there. I will still say hello. You are my friend, and I respect that.
But that doesn't mean
But that does not mean I'm going to be sucked into drama.
And you're not necessarily agreeing with what you're saying.
And I don't always agree with everything. But what I do genuinely like is the panels that have been happening have been diverse, and all of the conversation has not just been on us. It's now kind of regulating a little bit over there. So that I kind of like that they're kind of off of us, because that's ultimately what we wanted, is that everybody just to leave us alone,
Well, let
us
do our
business.
But we're on social media, babe. That's a dream that's not going to be ever a reality.
Duh, I know. I talk in a lot of hypothetical because I just want things to be better in this world.
Of course, you mean well. All right, babe.
So yes, with that being said,
it is time to start
wrapping
this
things up.
All right. You've been listening to the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, and this has been episode number 47, which was about dysregulated versus regulated online groups. One more time. Episode number 47 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was about dysregulated versus regulated online groups. To remind you all, if you're listening to us on the audio-only podcast networks such as Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite,
iHeartRadio.
One more time.
iHeartRadio. And
third time's the charm.
Flip, iHeartRadio.
That's right, iHeartRadio. We're also on Amazon's Audible. We're also on YouTube's Music, and also on most of the rest of the unknown or not as well known audio-only podcast networks. If you're listening to us audio-only, go below the description section of wherever you're listening to us audio only. Halfway down, you'll see the link to the video version of this same podcast. When you click that link, it'll start playing the stream with video. And while you're there, that'll also redirect you to our main channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. GNA is short for Genuine Networking Association. Please subscribe, bang the bell, and make sure you select all notifications so you don't miss anything. Then go below that description section within that video. A couple lines down, you see the link to GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development, where we go live, if not every day, almost every day. Sometimes Dawn joins me, sometimes we have other guests, and we have a lot more coming to both YouTube and the podcast world coming soon, so stick around. With that being said, time to go. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, babe, be good to each other.